Good afternoon, Your Highnesses, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It is with enormous honor and anticipation I stand here in front of you at the intersection of technology, innovation, and future. A future that is being built, accelerated by artificial intelligence. I had the opportunity to move to Saudi Arabia in October of last year. I was living in Tokyo. And what a great thing that is happening in this country. I was gravitated by the Vision 2030 and the opportunity to participate in defining a future and building a new digital startup in Aramco Digital. While we came to the office in one day, we were thinking about how we make a use of AI, how we employ AI in every day what we do. As His Excellency Swah had talked on, of course, there is plenty of hype about AI. We need to focus and concentrate on finding the value of AI. To bring you back in history, if you go back to the 1970s, we invented the terminal command, a command that human beings used to interact with machines. It did the job, it was effective. We did not have to hardwire the computers to accomplish results. In 1990s, the GUI was implemented. Today, if you look at your tablets, your computers, yes, icons got better, faster, quicker, but how we now evolve to a new interface, a new user interface. So the language user interface is the exploration of what Aramco Digital has been working on. And allow me today to walk you through some of our innovation on this product category, which we believe is really a monetization opportunity for all of us, and also some of the platforms and hardware that is needed to really run these models. So I like this statement that really Bill Gates has said. AI, of course, has the potential to change the world in ways we can't imagine, and that is absolutely true. And we are still in the early stages discovering how we coexist as humans, as machines, as employees, in an enterprise that leverages AI. Today, if you look at the workplace, this is actually a fact, and it's not a fact just in Saudi Arabia. I've seen this when I lived in Japan, in India, in China, in the United States. We still depend on a lot of manual processes. Our data platform, we talk about AI, but for AI to work, you do need unification of data and data architecture. Workflows are still very lengthy in development. They're not completely customizable. So enterprises do not have a clear answer. How do we realize the promise of AI? So I think if you look at it from what is the total stack that is needed to create an innovative, collaborative ecosystem that will leverage and create new application layers. Number one is we have to really address and look at the infrastructure layer. There is no doubt the kingdom have built amazing infrastructure. But I also would tell you, we are working on very innovative, and in a moment today, I'll introduce my colleague to talk about what we're doing on the infrastructure layer. An enterprise, a developer, a startup must have access to an elastic enterprise, equivalent to what cloud computing has done for traditional enterprise application. The kingdom must also have the ability to offer on-demand, in real time, access to this infrastructure. Models, platforms, applications. This is really the totality of the stack that is required and needed to deliver on the promise of AI and to move away from the hype to reality to monetization opportunity. So ChatGPT really invented a new category. When you look at content creation when ChatGPT came in, it is beyond a really monumental revolution in content creation. It drove very intelligent responses. It talked to us in a human language, and that was really impressive. And I looked at this and I said, in the workplace today, how do we really now go from a legacy architecture that is not so intelligent into a new platform that you declare your intent, understand you, it really acts as an assistant, carries actions, and bring intelligence into execution in the enterprise. So what if, with AI, really your intent translates to action? Today, I think you could go to ChatGPT and ask it many questions. But if you look at the workplace today, you should think of the new workplace of tomorrow, not just about really deploying AI in the workplace, but the AI and the human coexistence to really work together to improve productivity and accelerate top-line revenue and the targets for the company. Your feature desktop, what if you don't need icons on your desktop or your tablets. What if this is no longer a necessity for you to carry day-to-day interactivity with any machine that you use today? Your workflows are fully customizable. You talk by voice and it will understand them. And thus, this is really the beginning of what we've been working on. This journey for us started in October last year to create the first operating system driven by generative AI, but it's a lot more than generative AI. NeuroOS is our attempt to really bring monetization and to bring AI from hype to reality, improving productivity, and removing the complete desktop experience that we have been living through 1990. So allow me just to give you an idea. You come into the morning into the office, and you have an intelligent assistant that it's really, you could ask it anything you want and declare anything. So when you build startups, and if you went through this, I went through this 4 times, this is my 4th startup, I will tell you the basics. Assume you want to build an organization today for your startup. You could ask the NeuroOS today a very simple intent. I want to know how I should create an organizational structure for finance. If you ask ChatGPT this today, of course it will respond. It will respond in a textual manner. We took this in Aramco Digital, and we are using this today to help create and craft an organizational structure based on pre-training models. It translates into not just textual format, it creates the organization structure, and if you want, you could also use the same platform to give you job descriptions and such for editing and submitting the workflows for approval. This might sound trivial, but it's really, really important when you think about it from an enterprise point of view. The idea of creating organizations, workflows, structure is very, very important. And this could be your single enterprise user interface. Today, we have all of this meeting broadcasted globally. We all used web collaboration tool. And one of the other things and advantages is this interface is just a single interface. You don't go from application to application to application. One immediate use case that we all use every day, if you want to establish web conferencing and collaboration, you should be able to declare intent. Show me my calendar. Let me know what my schedule is next week. Open up a video call and translate this content into action. So our ability to take all of these and all of this interactivity into a simple web conferencing collaboration done by declaration of an interface. We think this is a really, really game changer to how things are done. And last but not least, how many of you have really faced the complexities of building workflows? We now build workflows by speaking our intent, whether it is dialogue, language, natural language. The ability to build completely customizable workflows is very, very important. So we're really excited about this, but I'll tell you the more exciting thing about this, we also did this, frankly speaking, in a record time. This was built from October last year till now, and this is an innovation that we built in headquarters of Aramco Digital in Dammam. Thank you very much. The other thing I want to just mention to you now, to run NeuroOS, you need infrastructure. You need scalable infrastructure. You need infrastructure you can consume and demand. I had the opportunity, by the way, before introducing the next speaker, to meet a really breakthrough organization that I want you to listen today what we are doing with them. This is really the game changer in Saudi Arabia. You've heard today His Excellency talk about GPUs that's primarily dominating the foundational model training. And in Aramco Digital, we believe what is called inferencing. Inferencing is running models like NeuroOS will be absolutely needed and needed much more in demand than model training. So the next guest that will come here is our partner and colleague. He's the founder and CEO of Groq. Groq is one of the leading companies today that's providing advanced AI chipset for infrastructure. Jonathan, by history, by the way, started his working on this solution back in days with Google. He wanted to fix and help the engineers in search. He created the FPGA. The FPGA evolved to the TPU. I will not speak anymore. I think I want to introduce Jonathan. Jonathan will give you an idea about the collaboration that we're doing. And at the end of the discussion, I want to show you a real-time demo to what is going to happen when we deploy this into the kingdom, and the commitment that we're doing together to build the world's largest AI inferencing data center in Saudi Arabia. Jonathan, thank you very much.
Okay, now the video starts. Here we go. He's got to click. He has to click. You have to click. They have to click.
Here's something interesting.
Groq, on en parle un petit peu dans Tech Co, dans cette émission dédiée à la tech que vous retrouvez tous les soirs.
Groq makes the fastest AI chips out there. They're called LPUs.
Everybody's talking about Groq.
Groq is all the rage now. Brrr, the graph on the top right here, that's Groq.
Groq chip is an ASIC rival to NVIDIA. Everyone who is trying Groq hardware seeing such an amazing latency.
This is Groq. It's like ChatGPT, but insanely fast.
Good afternoon. I said, good afternoon. Thank you. So we came here as Groq earlier this year and announced with Tarek of Aramco Digital that we were going to deploy an enormous amount of compute here in the kingdom. And the reason that I'm here today is that we're fulfilling that promise. So just last week, we finalized the incorporation of our regional headquarters here in the kingdom. And so not only are we deploying AI in the United States, we're going to be deploying it here. We're going to be deploying it here this year. Thank you. Now, the reason that Groq has become so popular is because we are, by far and away, the fastest. And there's obviously some competition. And about a week ago, one of the other startups in this space that's backed by a neighboring country pulled ahead of us. Well, we wanted to save the announcement for today. Just a couple of minutes ago, we announced on Twitter that we've actually set a brand new speed record, over 544 tokens per second, making Groq the fastest. Thank you. So why does speed matter? Well, let's use an analogy between coal and oil. So coal and oil both produce energy, but you can't run an airplane with coal. There are certain things where you need energy density. And like that, you need compute density or compute speed. So let's do a little bit of history here. So the industrial age was all about energy, about multiplying people's capabilities, giving an advantage. And that relied on coal, natural gas, oil. And then the information age came around. It depends on energy as well, but it's about data. It's about replicating data and distributing it. That's what the internet does. It distributes it to your home, distributes it to your work. Mobile, to your hand. Now, a question I get a lot is AI the next internet? Is another information age technology? And the answer is absolutely not. Because AI is a generative age technology. It's not about copying, it's not about replicating, it's about creating something new, something that has never existed before in the context. And it runs on compute, and compute is measured in tokens. Tokens are roughly a word, so every word that comes out is a token. And just like with oil, tokens can be measured and they can be monetized. We're going to deploy 25 million tokens by the end of Q1 of 2025. That's the equivalent of what Microsoft and OpenAI had at the end of last year. That's hyperscaler scale. And that's about equivalent to 1 barrel every 4 seconds. Now, it's one thing to build capacity, but it's another to have demand. And we have enormous amounts of demand. People love the speed. Earlier this year when we were here, we were about that many developers. In the months that have followed, we have gotten to 444,200 developers. For comparison, NVIDIA has about 2 million. If you click the wrong thing on their website, they count you, so they say 5 million, but it's really 2 million. So what that means is Groq is now the second largest semiconductor company in AI after NVIDIA. And we're coming here. So people or developers, they build applications. They build applications on top of that compute. And what you're about to see here is roughly the first month of applications that have been built on Groq. That was 1 month. Now, there are a lot of AI projects that are, we will build it and they will come. Groq is unique because they've already come and now we just need to build it. So let's talk about ambition. So our goal was to get to 25 million tokens per second. That's about a barrel of oil every 4 seconds. Tarek of Aramco Digital challenged us to think bigger. Could we get to 1 billion tokens per second? We now have a supply chain that is capable of doing this. It would take about a little over 600 megawatts of power to do, and we could serve it from here. And to put that in perspective, that is roughly 7% of the kingdom's revenue when you consider the cost of a token and the cost of oil. That's how big that is. And it's only going to grow from there. Now, we're going to start off by deploying 20% of that initial 25 million tokens here this year. That's already baked, that's already planned, and we'll be able to serve the country. Next, we're going to expand that out to about 25 million tokens, and that's going to be enough to support neighboring continents. It'll allow us to support parts of Europe, parts of Africa, maybe even a little bit of India. But when we get to 1 billion tokens, what that's going to do is it's going to turn the kingdom into a net exporter of compute that will be able to reach about 4 billion people from this country. So now let's talk about what's next. I'd like to invite Tariq back on stage here because we're going to show you a little bit of a demo of what is actually possible with NeuroS.
Okay, Jonathan. So maybe it'll be really helpful, just there's a lot of background that we started. Why Saudi Arabia?
Well, there's plentiful energy reserves. It's in the nexus of about 4 billion people, and there's a great business climate here, but also the vision and ambition. I'm wearing the Vision 2030 pin, and I really think this is the place to serve the compute needs for about half of the planet.
Very good. I thought maybe we do one last thing. Can we show a demo?
Yeah.
Why don't we show a demo and ask the voice assistant and see what excited all of us at Aramco Digital around ultra-low latency response to voice.
All right.
Jonathan, how can I help?
Yes, I'm here with my friend Tariq. Can you let him ask you a couple of questions?
Of course. I'm happy to answer any questions Tariq might have.
Can you tell me more about Vision 2030? What's the ambition? What's the objectives?
Sure thing, Tariq. Vision 2030 is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's ambitious plan to build a progressive future for the country. It's based on 3 main pillars.
Well, that's great, but does AI has anything to do with this?
Society, a thriving. Absolutely, AI has a significant role to play in achieving Vision 2030. With AI acceleration.
Well, very good. Does AI need access to compute and infrastructure?
Can enable more interactive and seamless. Yes, indeed. AI needs powerful computational resources and robust infrastructure to function.
Great, thank you.
So this is Jonathan again. I have a question. What are the strategic advantages of serving the world's AI compute out of the kingdom?
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has several strategic advantages when it comes to serving the world's AI compute needs. One, Geographic location, the kingdom is strategically located at the crossroads of 3 continents, Africa, Asia, and Europe. This position enables it to provide low latency services to a significant portion of the world's population. 2, abundant energy resources. The kingdom boasts abundant energy resources which can be used to power AI computational needs. This can result in cost-effective and eco-friendly energy solutions for global AI infrastructure. 3, investment capabilities. The kingdom has substantial investment capabilities.
Okay, those are all great. I'm going to ask you one last thing. Can you compose a poem about Vision 2030 in the style of Robert Frost?
In the land where sun meets the sand, a kingdom's vision takes a stand. 3 pillars strong, for all to see, a vital society, a thriving economy. A vital society, the first to rise with education, health, and joyous skies. A nation strong that cares for all, where families flourish, one and all. The second pillar, an economy.
Amazing.
All right, thank you very much.
Think about what you just saw today. With this level of latency, we're serving this from a data center today located in the west coast of the United States. You could imagine now when this gets served in the data centers within the kingdom by the end of the year. 20 to 40% of Groq global traffic will be rerouted here. This is a really big accomplishment. We are really, really excited about unlocking the value for this. Thank you very much.